one or two other bits and pieces. So we come to, well, it's not the biggest race of the day, but it's always the highlight when Winx is racing. It's the George Ryder Stakes, and Winx at $1.20. Here she is. So Group 1 wins for Winx. She sits on 16. We know John Henry of the United States, this incredible horse in the past, won 16 Group 1s. But if Winx were to win today, Pete, we believe that, and it's, I think, recognised that she would have won more Group 1 races globally than any other horse since the introduction of Group 1 racing.
Sensational performance, shooting for that 17 today. And John Henry was a great horse of the late last century. And here we go. What have we got? The biggest earners.
Yeah, and if she wins today, another 600,000 jumps in. Yeah. So you've got America and Japan at the top, and Winx chipping away, and who knows, with the Queen Elizabeth and a Cox Plate, she could get there, couldn't she?
Yeah, she's not too far behind them, is she? And Arrogate, most of those are retired, so she is some chance of getting up the top of that list. She looks tremendous here in the yard. She's very composed, very relaxed, looks great in the coat as always.
So let's have a look at the betting, Pete, from the tab and just see what price she might be at the moment. $1.10. So we'll find out from Gerard Watt. She is on the fix. Kementari, a warm second favourite there. I say warm because he's 4 points in front of Happy Clapper, and then the other three all about the same. So Richo in his own right, he's a beauty, Happy Clapper. How does he look?
Well, he looks a treat. He is a bona fide star. He's a multiple Group 1 winner, but the reality is, for Happy Clapper, he's 0-6 against the mighty Winx. She wins, but he might be running second.
I think he's going as well as ever, don't you? He is. He does look well. Pat Webster's done a mighty job with him. He's been placed in a couple of Doncasters, and as Richo said, 0-6. This horse won the Country Championship on the same day that Winx won her Doncaster. Yeah,
well, you know, he's been a terrific horse for connections, $1.5 million in the bank. He's going to add to that probably a little bit again today, but you see a horse like he and Crack Me Up and Invincible Gem, you think they're going to be fighting out for one of them's going to get the wooden spoon and the only one in the race to miss a check.
Well, Emily, you know the Baker family oh so well, and this is Bjorn's. He's just taken over the training of this bloke, and he's 1 for 1, isn't he? Crack Me Up.
He sure is, and it was a nice win as well. Came through all sorts of gaps to get up to the victory, obviously, as we've all sort of indicated, running for a second spot today. It has won the Villiers Stakes, so is proven over the mile. Was foaled in New Zealand, but is from an Australian family. The dam proving quite handy. Has, in fact, produced a Grade 3 winner in America called Hoof It.
He's a nice horse and with a lovely background. So, Jason, we come to the one and only.
And the reaction of the crowd says it all. She was clapped into the mounting yard. We've got Group 1 winning jockeys like Ty Anglin, Sammy Clippert and Andrew Atkins all coming out to look at her. Everyone's hanging over the fence. We don't need to talk about her form card. It just stands alone, doesn't it? 2 more Group 1 winners. Clearly Innocent and Kementari might add to the list of beaten Group 1 winners, which is getting awfully close to 60. She beats the best.
She sure does. She's going for a third rider. She was $1.90 when she won her first, $1.26. She was 8 straight when she won her first and 16 straight when she won her second, and she's going for 24 straight. And she was dominant on this day last year, wasn't she?
On testing ground, and she went as fast as she does on the dry. You've never seen a wet track performance like it, and I think today's probably ideal conditions for her.
Yeah, the track does seem to be absolutely perfect. Emily, this is a good mare, Invincible Gem. She's got a terrific strike rate. She doesn't race a lot, but boy, she's got a good record.
She has, and I thought she raced right up to her best last time with that Group 1 placing in the Canterbury Stakes. She's a little toughie, isn't she? She just pins the ears back and gives it 100%. And would you believe it? Last year she was fighting for her life during colic surgery, so I'm pretty sure Connections are just pleased to have her here today.
Got a lot of form around Happy Clapper, hasn't she? And she hasn't been far away. And Jason, away from Winx, this is certainly the most interesting runner in the race.
I think he's the best 3-year-old in Australia, and he gets an opportunity to mix it with the big boys today. His name is Kementari, and what he's got from his dad Lonro, he's got that electrifying turn of foot. Now, they've notified Connections. They're going to ride him nice and conservative. Will he be in front of Winx with 400, 600 to go, or will he be behind her? Could he possibly give her a head start and come over the top? He only receives 1 kilo off her with the weight for age scale, him being a 3-year-old colt versus the older mare. He looks an absolute rock star.
He does. Let's get the pick of the hour. Emily, I might just go to you because I don't think you've seen Winx a lot in the flesh. You've had a good look at her today. What's your first impression?
She's just outstanding, isn't she? I actually had a little chat to Guy Mulcaster earlier today, and I said, what was it? What made you pick a horse like that? And he said, actually, she just ticked all the boxes. She filled our criteria, something sort of quite as simple as that. But he said very crucially, as we've all noticed, she's improved. And I think we've seen that, and here today is probably one of the best times I've actually seen her.
And in the reaction of the crowd, the applause when she walks into the mounting yard, she puts bums on seats, as Pete Moody says, like no other horse. It's just a privilege to be here.
It is, and she's a people's horse, isn't she? I think everybody feels like they've got a part of her, and today is certainly no exception. And I'm just privileged to be here. It's wonderful.
Jason, I just want Emily, back in New Zealand, is she a big deal in New Zealand? Would the Kiwis be watching her today?
They would, absolutely, especially if you're a racing fan. She's a movie star. She's a rock star, as you said a little bit earlier, and I've even seen her on mainstream TV. So she's she is what she is to everybody, I think.
Yeah, well, you're English born, you live in New Zealand, but it's un-Australian not to have her as the pick of the yard, Winx.
Oh, absolutely. They can't beat her, can they? I think people here are hoping that she doesn't get beaten, as you would. Kementari, I know there's a lot of word around about him. I just think out of your own age group, weight for age, at your first try against a horse like Winx, it's going to be tough.
Don't underestimate him. He is a quality colt, but he's going to need to be every bit as good as he looks. And I can imagine, Jared, Winx, can I have $1.10 still?
Sorry, Richo, $1.16, even better. So, look, one customer had $114,000 the other day at $1.10. I've seen bets of $70,000 and $20,000 at $1.15. It's the great thing about Winx. Doesn't matter what price she is, they'll open their wallets. And $1.16 now. She jumped $1.26 in this race last year. Kementari was 8 into $5.50, now back out to the $8. Happy Clapper, 16 to 23. And I mean, horses like Invincible Gem, Crack Me Up, Clearly Innocent, you're not going to see them at those sort of prices too often in their career.
A 17th Group 1 on the flat. No other horse in the history of racing anywhere has done it.
Gates, and the light is on. We're ready now for the George Ryder. Gates open, they're off and racing, and Invincible Gem hopped out well. Winx has jumped midfield, and Invincible Gem's going to make the running from Happy Clapper second. Crack Me Up going to third on the inside of Kementari, Clearly Innocent, and Winx just settles back at the rear of the field on the outside of Clearly Innocent. So it's Invincible Gem, a clear-cut leader, and no early pressure with Happy Clapper a close second. 2 after Crack Me Up, Kementari the outside. 2 further back to Winx on the outside of Clearly Innocent. So they've all found their positions going to the 1,000 metres, and Invincible Gem going well in the lead by 3/4 to Happy Clapper. Just getting a little bit closer now, the dual Group 1 winner, followed by Crack Me Up on the inside of the Lonroad colt Kementari. A length further back to Winx, and Clearly Innocent is back last. They've gone past the 800 metres now. It's Invincible Gem, a length and a quarter in front to Happy Clapper. So Invincible Gem ups the speed at this point. 2.5 further back to Kementari. Winx gets going on the outside from Crack Me Up, and Clearly Innocent last. Invincible Gem is trying to slip away on the turn. 2.5 clear from Happy Clapper. Here's Winx moving up on the outside, and Kementari, the colt's trying to go with the jab. Invincible Gem 3 lengths clear from Winx, getting into her work now. She went straight past Kementari. Happy Clapper's running the big race today, but Winx moves up now at the 150. Heads off a game, Happy Clapper. Kementari gets going late, but Winx is edging clear for a world record of 17 Group 1s, and Winx wins it by 3/4 to Happy Clapper. And a game, Kementari. Crack Me Up in 4th, and Invincible Gem and Clearly Innocent. And now the world awaits the decision. Will the Equine Queen go over to meet Her Majesty?
Will she?
Winx.
Will she meet the Majesty? And I just first thought it was a heck of a race, Pete.
Yeah, she did a tremendous job. Happy Clapper and Kementari in career best form, but she's still too good.
Huey's tactics were pretty interesting. He sort of used Kementari, and then he had to go 3 wide. He didn't want to give Happy Clapper too big a start. And then he had to tighten up Kementari a bit, about 300 from home.
He just took all the risk factor out of it, just made it simple, put her in the right part of the track, and she was too good.
And what about for you, Richard? I mean, I'm standing alongside of you, and we're riding her hard. I mean, at this moment here, Kementari inside of her.
I thought she was home here, but she actually struggled a little harder than I thought she would. I thought she was cruising up to them and going to do exactly what Winx does. But Kementari just poked up inside of there, made a bit of a race of it. She cut him off here. But here's old Happy Clapper. He is flying at the moment. He gave her a hell of a race. He made her stick her neck out and produce only what she can produce. It was a fantastic effort by the second and the third horse, Kementari, closing in on her again. but she's the champ. She finds a way.
Oh, no, absolutely. I mean, 24 consecutive wins, a 17th Group 1. No one else has done that. But to Happy Clapper and Kementari, James Cummings is going to be wrapped. Paddy Webster's going to be wrapped. They've got great Doncaster chances, and now we wait for the biggest decision probably Chris Waller's ever got to make.
Come Tuesday, it'll all be... everyone will be glued to the screens, the radios. What's the decision?
So Richie, over to you, mate.
Well, Chris, the relief. That's always the overwhelming emotion, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. We probably beat ourselves up a bit and build ourselves up too much, but it's just hard thing not to do when you're training a horse like her. So, what more can I say? She does all the talking when she runs, her presence, and today was just another great win.
When she's 1,600 metres back to 15, though, up against Happy Clapper and Kementari, you knew this was going to be a big test for her.
Yeah, I was worried 2 weeks ago when I saw Happy Clapper win first up the way he did, and obviously Kementari be dominant, not just win that Randwick Guineas, but also win his 2 races before that. So, yeah, that's what you expect in this type of racing, and we need it. We need it to take us to the next level as well. So, it was good to see it to sort of jog up and be put under a bit of pressure at the 200 metre mark and then just start to edge away, clear the last 100.
I bumped into your wife only moments before the race, and she said she feels sick, and so do you, that you were nervous like Nelly never any other time.
Oh, yeah, I don't know how well she looked at me. I felt it really tough this week, and I can't explain it. It's so hard to explain, and you try and quantify pressures in life, and I know that racing's just one small thing, and when you talk about health and things like that and family, but geez, she puts a lot of pressure on you.
She certainly does, but she doesn't know that, doesn't she? She just relishes this sort of occasion.
She certainly makes my job a lot easier.
We saw you saddle her up and then said, your job's done, and then it's that nervous wait. You go and hide somewhere. Don't tell us where you hide, but you go and hide. Are you on your own?
Yeah, and just chat to people, whoever's around me, providing I like them. And I was just with one of my foremen, Chris, who helps me settle up at the races, just in the media room, and just the two of us. And I would just say good luck, and then I walked out and watched it on TV, and that's just me. I just don't want to be out in the public, and I might be a bit weird, but it suits me.
You're not weird. We love you. 17th Group 1 for her. Now everyone wants to know, when are we going to see her next?
Well, you'll see her in 3 weeks' time. Queen Elizabeth, I don't think that's been any secret all along. Neither is any part of her journey. So obviously we've got a big decision to make about Royal Ascot or going to Europe, but it won't be made today. The owners and I haven't even discussed it. I will try and give you some indication this week, as we said we'd do after the George Ryder, but I think I owe it to the owners for them to know what it's all about, and then obviously get to everybody that way as one, and most of all check the horse.
Go and see your queen, mate. Well done.
Thanks.
Brilliant. There's Chris Waller, Deb Kapitas, the lucky owner, Mick.
Absolutely, Debbie. We've just watched Winx come back, and you've got tears in your eyes, the crowd cheering. What's going through your mind?
There's not a lot, actually. I'm just so proud of that beautiful horse. What she's done is amazing.
You made your move pretty early. You got outside Kementari.
It was a slowly run first quarter of the race. Zach really controlled it from up the front, and I never actually took cover behind Kementari. I feel the ground's a bit better out sort of 3 wide, and it's a luxury of a horse that's got plenty of ability on her opponents.
And you kept it tight on Kementari at the top of the straight. You had to get past him, didn't you?
Well, not necessarily. I didn't actually keep him tight. It was more that Happy Clapper was coming out for better ground, and Brenton just found his, I sort of started to build because, I'll be honest, I had more respect for Happy Clapper than Kementari as an opponent. Now, Kementari's only a 3-year-old. He's going to develop into a high-class horse, but it's difficult for them, the 3-year-olds, against the mature, well-performed older horses, and I had my eye on Happy Clapper because he's in great form, and I wanted to be close to him when he sprinted.
Christine, do you want to just come in for 1 sec? I know you want to talk to Huey, don't you? I mean,
I'm so proud. God, to think that we could have been sitting on the sofa, you know what I mean, this week, like, after having the nasty fall a couple of weeks ago, like, thank God, thanks to our local GP who allowed him to ride, and thanks to you for getting back, and not breaking a finger or a nose or a bone or anything, so happy days.
Was it close? Was there a worry that you wouldn't be able to come back and ride today?
I suppose I didn't think about it. I could sense early on that I couldn't ride last weekend.
It is. Concussion's always such a serious thing, Bruce, and oh God, I was praying, yeah, thank God he's here, and Winx is after getting her look today.
She loves you.
She does. Where would I be without her?
Good on you, mate. Well done, Huey. Well done, Christine. And you know what? Well done, Winx. She's a beauty.